There is a sentence hidden in this painting, written in pencil, tiny, almost invisible, tucked into the red strokes of the sky. It stayed there for over a century, and nobody noticed. When researchers finally found it, they used infrared technology to confirm who wrote it. The words, in Norwegian, red, can only have been painted by a madman. The author was Munch himself, and that changes everything about this painting, because this is not a painting about a scream. It never was. Edvard Munch was born in Norway in 1863. He was 5 years old when his mother died, tuberculosis. He was 14 when his sister Sophie died. Same disease, same house. His father survived, but barely. A man crushed by grief, who frightened his children with stories of hell and punishment. Munch wrote in his diary, "Disease, insanity, and death were the angels that attended my cradle." He wasn't being dramatic. He was describing his actual life. Mental illness ran through his family like a current. His sister Laura would later be committed to an asylum for life. Munch grew up knowing that darkness was not something that visited. It lived there, with him. By his late 20s, Munch was painting in Oslo. He had talent, he had recognition, but something was breaking inside him. His sister Laura had just been institutionalized. The same year, he began working on The Scream. He lived near the psychiatric hospital where she was kept. He could walk past it. He did walk past it. And he carried that weight every single day. He started keeping what he called a soul's diary. Not a journal of events, a journal of what he felt when the feelings became too heavy to hold. He wrote about anxiety, about a terror he could not name, about the sensation that the world itself was coming apart at the seams. On a January evening in 1892, Munch was walking with two friends outside Oslo. The sun was going down. He wrote exactly what happened. "I felt a gust of melancholy. Suddenly the sky turned blood red. My friends went on. I stood there trembling with anxiety, and I felt a vast, infinite scream passing through nature." His friends kept walking. They didn't stop. They didn't feel it. Only Munch felt it. And that detail matters, because the scream was not something he made. It was something he heard, something that passed through the world, and only one man was unable to ignore it. There is a detail in that blood-red sky that researchers have debated for decades. In 1883, a volcano called Krakatoa erupted in Indonesia. It was the loudest sound ever recorded in human history. The shockwaves circled the Earth multiple times, and the volcanic dust it sent into the atmosphere turned sunsets across Europe a violent, unnatural red. For years, Munch saw those skies. Norway saw those skies. Some scientists believe the sky in The Scream is not invented. It is a memory, a real sky that looked like the end of the world, seen by a man who already felt like his world was ending. Others disagree. They say Munch was an expressionist. He didn't paint what he saw. He painted what he felt. Both things may be true at once. The Scream was completed in 1893. Most people are surprised by how small it is. You could carry it under your arm. The location is real. A bridge on the outskirts of Oslo. The fjord below is real. The city in the distance is real. Two figures walk away in the background. His friends, the ones who kept moving, the ones who didn't hear it. And at the center, a figure that is almost impossible to describe. No gender, no age. A face reduced to its most basic shape. Hollow eyes, mouth open, hands pressed against the sides of its head. The body bends like something melting, and the landscape bends with it. The lines of the fjord, the lines of the sky, the lines of the bridge, all of them curve and ripple, as if the world itself is vibrating from the sound. Munch wrote, "I painted the clouds as actual blood. The colour shrieked." He didn't say the figure shrieked. The colour did. Here is what almost no one knows. The figure is not screaming. Read the diary entry again. Munch felt the scream passing through nature. He stood there trembling. He heard it. The figure's hands are not raised in a scream. They are pressed against its ears, trying to block something out, trying to survive the sound. The title in German, Der Schrei der Natur, translates as the scream of nature. Not the scream of a person, the scream of the world. The figure is a witness, a terrified, helpless witness, to something vast and invisible that no one else around it can perceive. And then there is the inscription, hidden in the red sky, written by Munch himself, can only have been painted by a madman. He wrote it after the painting's first exhibition in Norway in 1895. The audience's reaction had not focused on the work. It had focused on him, on his sanity. So he answered them, directly, inside the painting itself, in a place where no one would find it for over 100 years. Munch never fully escaped what he was running from. The anxiety followed him. The alcohol made it worse. In 1908, he collapsed completely. Nervous breakdown. He was hospitalized in Copenhagen for 8 months. And something strange happened there. He recovered. Not just physically. He came out painting landscapes, farms, light, open skies, as if the darkness had finally released him, or he had finally released it. He lived until 1944, 80 years old, alone in his house in Oslo, while the German occupation of Norway was still ongoing. He had outlived almost everyone he loved, and he left behind over 1,000 paintings and nearly 18,000 prints and drawings. He called it all one thing, his soul's diary. Munch didn't paint a scream. He painted the moment before you understand what you're feeling. That suspended second, when the world suddenly looks wrong and you don't know why, and no one else seems to notice. The figure isn't mad. It's awake. Awake to something the people walking away chose not to feel. And maybe that's why the inscription makes sense. Not as self-pity, not as confession, but as a challenge. To everyone who looked at this painting and saw only hysteria. He saw the scream. They didn't. And 100 years later, we're still arguing about which one of them was right. The painting watched. It still watches. It never stopped. If you made it here, you already know what this channel is about. Not the painting you see, the painting underneath it. This is inside the artwork. Most people look at paintings. Very few actually see them. If you want to keep seeing, subscribe. The next one goes even deeper.